Instructions on how to change a LCD screen panel on a Clevo model N850EJ. So where do you get your laptop screens from? You go to laptoplcdscreen.co.uk. You look up your make and model, as I have done, right? And it'll give you different options. I had options of 60 gigahertz, 120 gigahertz, matte and glossy. I use mostly photo editing software. I have no need for 60 gigahertz, so I just went for the matte 60 gigahertz. Sorry, I have no need for 120 gigahertz. I need 60, so I just went for the matte 60 gigahertz option, and it's packaged very well. A couple of layers of that, yeah, so posties can kick it about as much as they like, and it should still get here in one piece. And it's got that fragile sticker on there. Makes no difference to them, but this is what you need. Okay, now let's get that in there. Just so you can see, it is clearly damaged. Back to the video. First, take off the battery. Next step after taking the battery out is to take these corner portion cushion thingies out. I've already taken this one out, and you do that by getting a little metal pick or a doodad like this, really going into that edge. You need something skinny like this. A pick is a better tool. Mine's in the garage, so I've just got this to hand. You really go into that and finagle it about until it just comes right off like this. And of course, there are screws right inside there. It's a Phillips head. Get that out on both sides. Both sides. And as I was saying, pyramid, triangular, prism shaped inserts. Okay. Next step is to grab either a guitar pick like this, or perhaps even a credit card like that. This is slightly thicker. Get a thin tool like something plastic, and you get into that crease there. It's a bit fiddly to begin with, and you're here like that, right? And you wanna, once you get that separation, you just follow that along the crease with your nail or with the tool, however you prefer, and keep popping it off gently. Hard but soft, as some might say. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's clearly a small amount of adhesive, so you can either warm it up to soften it, or just gently pry it open all the way around the edge. Once you finagle it with the guitar pick and slowly, get all sides of the screen except for the bottom, what will happen is it will essentially, and I guess the bottom strip there as well, if there's any adhesive, you want to push the screen back as far back as it goes, and then this sort of just lifts out of place from there. Yes, you see that? Because you've undone the screw, it just whoop, comes right off. Fabulous. At this point, you can check dimensionally that your screen is the right one. So take it out of its bubble wrap. Make a note of this there, right? Have a look at the part number and the manufacturer, Innolux, and compare that to the one on your device. So to see the back of, to get it off properly, I suppose you'd have to undo all the screws holding this together. So that's that one, not that one, but that one, and that one. That's for the chassis itself. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, take those screws off. So after these screws are removed, it will literally just pop down and out like such. And what you can do here, be careful of that connector. Don't pull it straight out, just let it lay it on your laptop. And if you're quite pedantic, you can lay a cloth over it so it doesn't do anything nasty. It shouldn't do. But now you can check that part number there is the same as this part number here, which I'm going to check now. I'm pretty sure it's the same, but I'm going to check right now. So in my case, guys, the numbers are not exactly the same, but it's very similar. So, and the form factor is the same, the pin is the same. So I'm pretty confident to go ahead with the install. Make sure that you have the protective film still on there, you know, just to avoid any scratches. And I've put the pink sheet down that it came with, so it's just going to be taking that off. So let's take the tape off first, shall we? So pull that tape off. It was on there. Pulled that tape off, the connector came off with it. It seems it's just a push fit connector. There's no clamp or anything, so essentially try to push it in there into that position. So it goes in like such. So say the pointy bit is the cable, it goes under there. Okay, to avoid this sort of orientation, see how it isn't level, see how the left is very close to the connectors and the right side is slightly askew. If you want to avoid that, you want it to be parallel. I would say that gets a pass, and then you just secure that in place. As good as it will sit down. It's not a dynamic part, so it should be alright. Installation is the opposite of removal, so honestly, just pop that back in like such, and it will slot into place more or less. It helps a lot if you put it on its back as opposed to its normal position. Then you can slide it around into position. So you might find, like this one, the tab is slightly bent. I bend that back so it's straight, but not too far so you don't want to damage the screen, just enough so you can get the screws aligned with the corresponding hole. Okay, so get it aligned up like that, put all 4 of your screws in, and Bob's your uncle. Screws are back in. Now it's time to put the battery in, and be very careful when you do this so as to not touch any of these, you know, printed circuit boards. You want to be very careful not to touch any of this. So once you've done all the screws up, pop the battery back in there without touching anything else, turn the power on and check that the screen works like this. Battery in, not touching anything other than the plastic. Power button. Moment of truth. We have lights. We have camera. Do we have action? Yes, we do. We have action. There we go. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we have liftoff. Wonderful. Now I would turn it back off. Just hard. Shut down. I would bend that slightly, just out of the way. So this is the protective film. And then pop the fascia plate back on, screws back on, and then take this off at the end. Okay, so just bend it out of the way for now, like such. Keep it like that. And then put the fascia back on. Oop. This helps if the factory did it right, but you know, sometimes you have to do it for them. That's been there for God knows how many years. Now, time to put it back right now. So it's back up right now. Taking this, putting that right into the slot, shimmying it so it just sits down all on its own. Now I will take this off and press down all of the bits. Okay, so let's take this off first. So I ordered my native panel, my native IPS panel is very, it's dirty, yes, but it's also a matte finish, you see. I was quite disappointed to see that it was not matte, i.e., you know, it will reflect more being glossy, but turns out it is matte. It's just the protective film that the supplier sends. So I shall remove this now. There we are. Oh, don't you love that? Satisfaction. Right, now I will just go around and clip this all down properly. Apply some pressure, let it all clip down. I'm going to use both hands, so I'm going to put my phone down. The bezel put back on, fascia, whatever you would like to call it. So I went around with both hands, popping every few inches or so, well, every half inch, I would say. Kept doing that 4 or 5 times until it stopped clicking. Now it's time for our screws on either side. Going back as they went in. Now that both of these screws are replaced, go ahead and put the vanity covers back on. So usually that double-sided sticky tape bit goes in and you just follow the contour and it just sits there. It shouldn't fall back out, one hopes. So again, get the double-sided sticky tape to sit into the hole like such, and that will orientate it in the right position. Right, that is how you change out a screen on a Clevo. As you can see, good as new. Does it turn on? Yes, it does. Does the screen turn on? There we go. Yes, it does. Right, guys, God bless. Hope that was helpful. Goodbye.